Hakuna Matata, Dirtfish Rally friends. George, we've got a guest with us this evening.
Well, I know Brenton's over there. Thank goodness there's no warthogs around. They're terrifying.
Terrifying beasts. Folks, it's the end of Friday's stages here at the Safari Rally. And it's been entertaining. I guess, George, we expected it to be entertaining. But let's start by talking about Ott Tanak. Because Ott Tanak, George, was having a really good day. He led at lunchtime. It all started to go wrong in the second stage this afternoon, though. Talk us through Ott Tanak's issues.
So obviously he reckoned he was driving really cleanly. It failed obviously near the end of the Laldea stage.
What failed?
The drive shaft.
Yeah.
Or well, it started to make a noise. So and that's a stage with a lot of action in the car. We think that the drive shaft boot came away from the mount and it let all the grease out of the inner mount, and it started to rattle and overheated, started to rattle and make a noise. And we saw the parts; they were all melted, overheated. They would have been up at hundreds of, almost thousands of degrees, really red hot. They would have been red hot.
Wow. But once again, George, Tanak's shown really good pace out here, but it's not about pace, this rally. We know that. It's about finding that compromise to look after the car. We knew the Hyundai had the potential to once again be really fragile out there. Do you think Tanak found the right pace, or do you think maybe he was pushing a little hard?
I might have normally made the judgment that he was pushing too hard, but in this case, I don't believe he was. That failure is absolutely not down to him. I don't know what speed he would have had to pull back to give assurance on that part subsequent to his failure, knowing what happened subsequent to the failure. So no way. Ott had it perfectly done.
Obviously happened first day already for Thierry as well, so don't know what's happening there, but somehow it's eating drive shafts at the moment.
You obviously hoped that you would get through this final one, but you've had to stop. Did something else go between the end of geothermal and here on the road section?
Yeah, first it was not completely broken. It had it was like skipping and some drive, but now on the stage it broke completely. So it was better to take it out. Otherwise, it can damage engine or something else.
Two-wheel drive only for the final stage?
Yeah, it will be full sideways.
You know, when we look at the problems that Hyundai had, there's a suspension failure within 13 Ks of the start of the rally on Thierry Neuville's car. Obviously, they've had issues with Adrien Fourmaux's car. 5 Ks, and they had issues with Fourmaux's car. They've had issues with Tanak, not even a third of the way through the rally. They're just not doing the job right, are they?
Well, I think they can still win this rally.
That's me trying to get a reaction from George.
Of course they can win this rally still. They're only a minute and 40 seconds down. That's a puncture each for the two leading cars. And he's right back with a minute's lead.
What did that mean? Tanak was leading when he left service. He was still leading after he came out of the first stage from service. He's down in third place. As George said, he is not out of it. A minute and 40 plus seconds off the lead. It does mean, though, George, that once again, we have two Toyotas at the head of the field. Elvin Evans leads, 7 seconds behind Kalle Rovanperä. Evans has been, again, really measured, I think, out there today.
Done a great job, and Kalle also done a good job. I was a bit surprised sometimes at the pace.
You say surprised? Surprised by the lack of pace?
No, I think the pace has been very, very high.
In terms of what Toyota do now, they forged the lead, and it's a good lead over Ott Tanak. What do they do with their two boys at the front? We know there are no team orders, but what do they do with those two boys with two of the toughest days ahead? We're talking about rain tomorrow as well, George. What do they do?
In this circumstance, with those drivers, I would be issuing a discussion at least with the team, and I'm sure they'll be doing that. No orders. They know what they have to do. Either of them will be happy with a first place or a second place. At this point, you'll just take it as it comes. They're each driving their own rally, and I don't think that either of them would follow each other. If one decides to go for it, the other one won't follow. They're driving their own pace, and I think you ultimately have to respect that.
Obviously, the guys had some pretty impressive pace at moments. It's a shame for Ott, obviously, mechanical like that. You never know in this game if it's because the car's had an impact or whether it's just a standard failure. But it's a shame for him. He was going really well.
Good afternoon, I would say. Better than the morning for sure. We had a really tough and difficult conditions. Taking care of the car went like we planned, let's say. It's always on this rally important to just manage your pace, decide what you want to do before and then stick to the plan. There is some guys who are really fast, but then you run into some trouble really easily. So it was a good day.
Let's go a little bit further down our leaderboard then. Thierry Neuville, again, he's in there somewhere, absolutely exhausted. He's at the battle. He battled out of service, basically. You know, he did have that suspension. We didn't realise actually yesterday evening, we had a hint, didn't we, from Cyril Abiteboul, that there may be some issues. It might be a difficult service for him. Suspension damage, goodness me. Super special stage, yeah, nothing in that particularly. 8 kilometre stage here, proper-ish stage, but nothing too difficult. That must have been a huge disappointment for Neuville. But when he's been in the stages, George, he's done what he's had to do, but he's picked up time penalties here, there, and everywhere.
The nice thing with Thierry is he never gives up.
No.
Honestly speaking, throw some attitude to him and he just takes it, turns it around and fires it straight back at the rally. Here I am. I'm still here, guys, and I'm still pushing. And, you know, for where you think he'll be nowhere, he could easily be third. He could easily win.
He's a decent way behind, but again, it is the Safari, and I apologise for keeping talking about this and to keep reinforcing this point. But it can all turn on its head so quickly here. It can all turn on its head. If you have a little bit of luck when the rain comes down, a little bit of bad luck when the rain comes down, anything can happen out there. So Neuville has fought to maintain his position. What about our other Toyota drivers, George? We've got Takamoto Katsuta in 5th. We've got Sami Pajari in 6th. Takamoto's had a difficult day. He was very ill last night. That's not easy going into a tough day like today.
That's an absolute disaster for him. And knowing that now explains the tiny indiscretions that won him a puncture. I spoke to him, he said, I didn't touch anything, I'm sure you did as well. And I touched nothing, I'm sure I didn't. But he wouldn't be as sharp as he could have been, and that will have hurt him.
And Sami Pajari, a good day for him. It's his first proper day here in Kenya, and he's not really had any big problems. He's fought through, he's lost a little bit of time here and there. I think it's been a positive one.
He stopped and changed a puncture, didn't he, in the first stage?
I think he did, yeah.
He did. So, yeah, a great day and a great learning day, a great attitude. He's brought the car back in one piece. I think he made quite a spectacular jump in the last stage there at Kidong. I think he might have got the highest this afternoon. But
really?
I believe somebody went higher in the morning.
Fourmaux was just bonkers again. He sent it over that jump. You smashed the windscreen last night. You've cracked one today. How did the windscreen happen today?
Today it was some like a really bumpy section with some like loose stones and some braking. The like from bumper, like say, scooped the rock and straight to the windscreen. Okay, that was luckily not so bad drama, and then the afternoon was really good for us. So actually, I must say I'm really pleased with that.
George, our M Sport crews, they're a very inexperienced team there, aren't they? A very inexperienced crew. Let's talk about Macalane first, just briefly. 7th place. I think he's done a really solid job. He had an awful lot to contend with out there today.
He did, and I think he did a great job. The boot, all the internal plastic parts of the boot at the back of the car fell apart in that big long stage, and they must have taken an impact or something. The tyre came loose
and bashed the hole.
Yes,
bashed the hole.
It pushed all the plastic away, and then those bits hit the exhaust, and he smelt smoke, and he thought he was getting hot. In fact, it was okay. He fixed it at the end of the stage, and then just ran with goggles for the rest of the day. And then, of course, poor Greg Munster. Obviously, just had an impact. Had gone over something. You could see the tie rod had taken a bend. It was unusual because it was one that was kind of out the way. It looked like it had taken an impact, so he must have landed on it somehow. Just very, very unlucky. That could just be a tiny wee stone, of which there are thousands on the rally. But you do make your own luck to a great extent. But he changed it very successfully.
Wonderful.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive stuff.
It was a big job.
Indeed, from M Sport. And the only Rally 1 driver not to have made it through this tough day today was Adrien Fourmaux. Look, it's not been his rally. We saw that drama yesterday evening where he had battery problems. He was being pushed down the street by all those wonderful spectators. Today was a difficult one. He had problems with a puncture, suspension damage, and then the car basically stopped, retired with broken suspension in Camp Moran, which was the second pass of that stage. Difficult rally for Adrien Fourmaux. So that is our Rally 1 cars, folks. What about Rally 2? Well, quite a dramatic day out there, I'd have to say. Oliver Solberg was leading the way. He got stuck in the fesh at the end of the stage you were at,
Yes,
George.
that's right, Camp Moran.
Yeah, I came out of that hairpin there, and this was the first fesh part. And just get stuck, to be honest. I didn't get warned or anything, and I didn't know about it. And yeah, here I am.
So nothing wrong with the car. You're just actually bottomed out.
Yeah, I bottomed out, and yeah, that's it.
But you know that the marshals could pull you through if they wanted to.
Yeah, they tried, but then nobody had a rope that was strong enough. So that's it. Yeah, it was going so well, you know, so controlled, and we had a good lead, and I just was clean through the stage and was hoping just to have a clean weekend for once. But in Africa, that's it. That's how it is.
What did that mean? Well, it meant that Kaito Kaitanovic, who's a man who's got a lot of experience here, he's won here before,
Yes.
he leads, but it's a wonderful battle between him and Gus Greensmith, another man who has won here before, George. It was a hard day, a really hard day for the Rally 2 cars out there.
It was unbelievably difficult. I think this Camp Moran stage, it had been proposed a few years ago, and the old clerk of the course refused it. But the new clerk of the course decided that, you know, FIA had been pushing for making the rally more characteristic, giving it more appeal, so they thought, we'll offer you this. And for me, that stage would have been unbelievably hard, but cut out that last 4 kilometres and just finish where Sleeping Warrior finished yesterday. And that way you would have got half a kilometre, maybe a kilometre of fesh.
Folks, what a day we've had here today. It really has been fantastic. We'd like to hear your thoughts, particularly on that stage, George. Remind me the name of it. Camp Moran. It keeps going. I have blanks with certain things, and the name of that stage is one of them. Tell us your thoughts on that. Was it too rough for the WRC? In the comments below. Folks, you have seen some tough conditions out there today. If you've watched the highlights, you've seen a lot of the action in this video. If you think that maybe you'd like to give it a go, maybe you're thinking, well, how can it be possible to drive in there? Do you know what? We can show you how to do it. drive.dirtfish.com. We have the very best instructors at the very best rally school in the world, just waiting for you to come along and visit us. It really is well worth it. Have a look, folks. You've been there, George. I've been there, George. Well worth it.
And Colin, no fesh.
No fesh. But we will tell you how to deal with the fesh. That is for sure. Big day to come tomorrow. 2 big days still to come here at the Safari Rally. Folks, thank you very much for joining us for our end of day highlights.